Show. I'm Jack Tomzak. That's Ben Cruzy, and of course, Siri Freeh.
Good morning, good morning.
We spend most of our time talking news, politics, and policy on Up and Adam, but not surprisingly, that's not what the majority of Americans are talking about.
Our intrepid reporter, Siri Freeh, spends hours sifting through the landfill of American culture to bring you the top 5 trending topics on social media. Siri, what's trending?
Well, you'd be surprised, actually.
Number 5.
Many of our listeners are probably already aware of the national debt clock that we talk about, but some may even be aware of the physical debt clock currently installed on 6th Avenue, of course, in Manhattan. It's that billboard-sized display which constantly updates to show the current United States gross national debt.
Then they have to redo it in order for it to show that it's more than $10 trillion?
They did, and they have since. However, for those of us unable to enjoy this monument to exorbitance in person, many websites display the rising numbers for your convenience. Now, this past week, it has proved to be particularly relevant as it became one of the hottest trending searches online. Yes. The site provides information not only on the national debt, but what this equates to per citizen and the interest that we owe. So, if you're looking to add a little woefulness to your Wednesday, the internet can provide.
See, I find that interesting that people are paying attention.
Well, eventually they do pay attention. The fact that the national debt clock has gotten into the top trending topics, that's pretty encouraging. The one I use is usdebtclock.org.
I'm looking at that now, and none of the numbers are there.
No, it's saying that our national debt is $16.9 trillion and our gross domestic product is $15.9, which means our debt to GDP ratio is 106.4.
I don't think people can even interpret these numbers. Most people can even interpret what this means. They just see that they're like,
do you know what $1 trillion
oh
is?
Oh no, I know that's a lot of money.
I can't imagine $1 billion, much less $1 trillion.
It's clearly a sustainable path.
Naturally.
Clearly.
Obviously.
Number 4.
Well, speaking of spending sprees, it seems Walmart has followed suit. Following the aftermath of a shopping frenzy that witnesses say was worse than Black Friday, Walmart is indebted hundreds of thousands of dollars of groceries.
Did you hear about this, Ben?
Oh, is this the EBT cards thing?
Bought by Louisiana food stamp recipients.
People are animals.
It comes after dozens of welfare families with EBT cards picked the shelves bare in stores in Spring Hill and Mansfield on Saturday from 7 to 9 and walked away with up to 10 shopping carts filled with meat and other groceries.
What were they freaking out about? Was there like a storm coming?
There was no. What happened?
The EBTs were screwed up.
You may be wondering how in the world shoppers could have gotten away with this. Well, you see, Walmart was not the only store this happened to. What happened is there was a glitch, so the EBT cards had no limit. Usually in Louisiana, it's $136 per person.
Okay.
Well, some of these bills racked up to $700. There was no limit. There was a glitch because Xerox was doing some sort of a test run. And the thing is that Walmart employees figured this out. So they called corporate and they said, what should we do? Should we temporarily close? Because that's what other stores are doing.
Right.
They said, no, just go ahead. Let them buy.
Let them buy.
Which is crazy because
they cleaned them out.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, super great call screener Eric tweeted a story from The Blaze this morning saying that it looks like, at least according to this article, that Walmart is going to be picking up the tab for that.
Oh, really?
Even though Xerox originally was like, I guess we'll have to pay the tab.
Well, Walmart allowed the shoppers to do it knowing that the glitch was in effect, and they made the conscious choice of let them go. Let them buy what they want. Let them do what they want.
Well,
so, they're supposed to pay the difference.
A little early holiday charity, I guess.
What I'm learning is that apparently Xerox is in control of our electronic benefits transfers.
Who knew? Xerox still around.
The printing company.
Now when you say I want to Xerox something, it's I want to go get free food somewhere.
There you go.
Number 3.
Well, last Sunday, thousands of protesters descended on Washington, D.C. to protest the closure of the National War Memorials as a result of the government shutdown. I know you gentlemen discussed this a little bit on Monday, but it became a very popular hashtag of #1MVetMarch. The protesters broke through barricades at the World War II Memorial as part of the Million Vet March, which is a self-proclaimed group of, quote, military brats, current and former military spouses, and some veterans who are utterly disappointed that the Grace Generation were being used as political pawns in the ongoing government shutdown and budget crises. So although the Million Vet March centered around the World War II Memorial on the National Mall, organizers' website advocated that smaller protests at other local memorials were going on across the country, which made it more the Million Vet March because in Washington, D.C., it was in the thousands. It wasn't a million.
Okay.
As they took part, protesters chanted, "Tear down these walls," and piled fences in front of the White House.
We had on Sunday at 8 o'clock. We had one in
Jay
town.
Devereaux?
Well, we had Jay Devereaux on the show, but here in town,
we did have one in
the
town.
Vietnam Memorial in the state. They did it at 8 o'clock on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Well, and it wasn't a partisan thing. It was meant to be for both parties, according to the website.
Sure.
So people were absolutely outraged that they were being utilized as the political pawn.
We want all people of all political stripes to come blame the president.
What I was most impressed by was at this Washington one where they ripped open the gates.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Someone it wasn't planned. Someone just suggested, hey, we should go take these fences, these gates over to the White House.
It's a great visual.
And so they just did. And
Yep.
it was like a 3-block walk, but it was worth it because, it was a great visual.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Number 2.
Well, this is one of the most widely shared stories on Facebook and social media this week. A German bride might be reconsidering her decision to say "I do" after her brand new husband forgot her at a gas station on the side of the highway.
Someone's going to need some cuddle therapy.
Oh, my. Maybe both of them. The newlyweds were on their way home from their honeymoon when they stopped for fuel, and the unnamed man didn't notice she'd gotten out of the van to hit the restroom. He'd been on the road.
No.
He'd been on the road 2.5 hours.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
2.5 hours before he noticed.
He didn't notice it was surprisingly quiet?
No, well, not to defend him, but here's what happened.
You're horrible.
Here's what happened is that she had been asleep in the back seat. She was taking a nap prior to stopping at the gas station.
Okay.
So he did not realize that she went out to go use the bathroom until 2.5 hours later. But I'm sure he was like, "You want to grab something to eat, honey?"
I can see how that can happen.
I could see how that could happen. Well, no. I'm curious if it would have happened before they got to their honeymoon
People need
destination.
I've got the benefit of a crippling anxiety problem that prevents
double check everything?
I double check everything because you never know.
Yeah, especially if your wife is in the back seat.
Wow.
It's one thing to leave a kid. It's another thing to leave your new spouse.
Number 1.
Well, this may be one hashtag our German groom is praying he does not experience. The hashtag #EndThisNow is the newest campaign from the president and congressional Democrats trending online this weekend. Honestly, this was brilliant because as I've been talking to just people that are not involved in politics, what is the thing that they talk about with the shutdown? I just wish it would be over. I just wish it would be done. And that is the thing about the Democratic Party is they're good at utilizing what is the pulse? What are people actually saying? And then they hijack that to their
Absolutely.
point.
They got on the crest of the anti-World War II veteran wave, and they rode that. They recognized the American people hate World War II vets and really decided to get on that bandwagon.
Exactly. And so how many people really know the details of what this shutdown is about or what the Republicans were trying to accomplish? They don't. All they know is they want it to be done, so the Democrats use the hashtag #EndThisNow. It did receive a lot of traffic on Twitter. One tweeter on the left posted, "Let's be clear, voluntarily bankrupting the nation to avoid paying health insurance is not fiscally responsible. It's reckless and greedy." Never mind the fact that he'll just be delaying that bankruptcy until later when he does have to pay for the health insurance.
What is $35 billion a year we'd be saving if we delayed Obamacare a year?
This is the problem I have.
Or $35 billion over 10 years, I guess.
A hashtag does not educate people on what the debt ceiling is.
Absolutely not.
And so to try to build a campaign around, send in your hashtags to prove how much you care about this. There are geniuses who don't completely understand how the United States is using its debt ceiling.
Exactly.
This is not a true groundswell. This is just this is just angering voters into thinking that Republicans are evil. Well, the Republicans aren't exactly doing anything to help
Which is
themselves.
all the Democrats need to do is to get more people on their side this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wait around and create a hashtag.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, the GOP did use this tweet as well, saying, by quote unquote this, we mean the full faith and credit of the United States.
Well, this is the problem is that if you create a hashtag, it's very easy for the people who disagree with you to hijack it.
Like TCNT on Twitter.
Right.
People really went after Ben on that. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Disturbing.
It's cruel.
Why, Ben? You seem so nice.
But no,
think.
Sometimes Republicans have
vicious
success.
side. Just a vicious,
That's
vicious
true,
streak.
actually.
Yeah.
When we get talking about some subjects, it does get a little vicious.
You should see him at the poker table.
Just a lot of yelling.
Relentless.
I was going to say anything to do with computers seems to get his vicious side out, too.
Or if you use the wrong typeface.
Exactly. case in point right there.
Siri, thank you so much for taking the time to find out what people are talking about. Some of that was eye-opening. Some of that was
typical,
disturbing. But we appreciate it anyway. Thank you, Siri.
Yeah, you're welcome.